So in this video, I want to talk about your stack as a web developer, specifically a WordPress web developer. And I want to talk about the things that I see in different groups online and different communities, and just like coming from my side of, my experience and my side of WordPress and everything, where I've got to kind of like where I'm at. I'll go over a little bit of our stack. I've made a video on it before. I'll put a link somewhere as well in the description and the card. But my name is Szymanski, and this is MJSWP. I like to talk to developers and agency owners like yourself about problems, issues, topics, things that I go through. I'm sure everybody else goes through. I'm a part of a lot of different groups online, and I see all these different things, and then I need an outlet to kind of like talk about them. So that's kind of what this is. I really want to start a conversation about this one, and there's not really a right answer to this topic. Obviously, you can do so many different things, so many different ways, but I'm going to give you my perspective, and you tell me whether you agree with it, whether you don't agree with it, whether maybe you found out some things that you didn't know from the things that I'm going to share here, and just my perspective on a lot of this. So let's just cut straight to it. I want to keep this as short as possible. If you are a WordPress web developer, you need to have a tight stack. Like, this is imperative. Like, you need to have something good that you are actually, offering to your clients. You need to have something that your clients are going to be able to, and I've gone through this, and I'll try to, intertwine some personal anecdotes in here. There's going to come a time where with your stack, you are going to reach a wall, like a limitation. You have two options. Either say, I can't do that, we can't do that for you, go find it somewhere else, or just don't do it. Or you're going to need to figure out a way to do that. Pretty much every single time I've came up against that, unless it's like ridiculous, like, hey, we want to build the next Amazon or something like that, like an app or something crazy, outside the scope of like a WordPress website, what a WordPress website can actually do. Every time I've heard that option, I've come up with that. The first thing that I do is I say, yeah, we can figure out how to do that. And most of the time now with the stack that I have, it's actually doable, because I only have like really three main tools that I can utilize together and build almost anything that you could actually want with WordPress. That is definitely a stretch. This is all very subjective, kind of abstract in some ways. But what I want to do here is I want to switch over. And like I said, I've done this in a past video, but I'm just gonna kind of go through some of these things and talk about this, because I see these questions come up all the time from all different walks of life of developers, and they're like, oh, I want to change from Elementor to, Generate Press, or I want to change to, Bricks or Breakdance. And trust me, I've tried a few of them. I'm not saying they're bad. Elementor is like the old plugin in the room, right? It's got so many million installs. For a while there, they were not doing anything. I was really like upset, because I've been an Elementor Pro user for the last like 5 years or something. And for a while, it was really bad. They were not innovating at all. But that being said, it really depends on, and this is why I want to talk about business more. It depends on what your goals are. It depends on what type of clients you want to serve. It depends on longevity. You can always change things, but when you do develop a stack, like, you want it to be robust, and you want it to be tried and true in a way. These, switching to these new builders is like cool and interesting, and maybe it's something to play around with, but you can't, like, you want to be careful building your business off of something that's like brand new. Not just because it's, like dangerous in a way or whatever, but there's just so much that could kind of happen there, or there's too much uncertainty with, like, you have to like believe in the team, or at least believe in the product. It has to be, again, tested for, whatever amount of time it is. And I just see some of these newer things, and it's like, the way the WordPress is going, I don't disagree with the idea of like full site editing and bringing a lot of stuff back into WordPress. But here's the problem, though. I am going to learn more about that. So this is me talking a little bit outside of where I my knowledge base. So if I'm wrong, tell me exactly how I'm wrong. Here's my thing, though. I'll skip to this. I use Elementor and JetEngine as like the core of my business now, and it is unbelievable how much stuff you can do with those two tools, okay? If you don't know about them, you should know about them. Can these other products do that is my only question. And obviously there's a ton of things there. But like, I literally have these two products, Elementor Pro, which the pricing has obviously changed a ton, but I'm like grandfathered in at like the 1,000 one for like $150 a year or something. And I have the lifetime of JetEngine, which I think I got for $800. But again, it's $1,000 one time. and you get so much for that, okay? Here's my point. My point is that you can do so much with these tools, and I don't know the code base and everything like that, but all I'm telling you is that I've found a way to make these websites fast, reliable, and extremely robust with the stuff that I want to do. You may not want to do that though. You may want to just make brochure sites, and that's all you want to do. And that's fine. Figure out a tool for that. All I'm saying is be conscientious when you're looking at what tool to use. Think about how if it's tried and true. Think about if it's just like the newest thing on the block. Just because everybody's talking about it does not mean that it's the best thing in the world. Okay? Be cognizant of that. And actually think about, don't pick something like that to build your business off of because you want to be like everybody else or have the support from everybody else. That's another thing too. The newer stuff doesn't have as much support. Just literally just by the definition of it. It hasn't been around long enough. There's not enough people that have been able to talk about it. The other thing you have to think about too is also opportunity costs. So thinking like, if you move, if you have like 20 websites that you're on a certain platform, and especially if you're trying to scale your operation, if at any point you want to try to scale, there is a real conversation to be had. Is it worth switching to something else based on, whatever. Now, I mean, if the company literally goes out of business, yeah, maybe you should consider that. But it's just, there's an evolution there. You got to be careful. The opportunity cost of switching from like your platform or your, page builder or whatever, your stack to something else is just, you have to think about it, right? And I see, like I said, I see these comments and it's like, I want to switch to this. And then like, what do I do with my old Elementor clients or my old whatever clients? And, it's just, I don't know. Again, I'm speaking a little bit out of my depth because I played around with Breakdance. Seemed like it was a pretty cool platform, but I still don't know, like, the biggest thing is I just don't know. My prerogative, maybe yours is different, has always been what stack gives me the leanest amount of bloat. And when I say bloat, I literally just mean like the leanest amount of plugins like on my site and bloat in that regard for the most amount of possible functionality. And obviously the least amount of cost, but that's very, very subjective and very relative. If you think like that, I'm not sure how you could find like a better lineup than Elementor and JetEngine. And I'm not even telling you to use them. I'm just saying that that's what I use, because this is like the template site that I have, and we've created it so like, I'll just go to the plugins real quick. Like I said, there's a different video on this or whatever, but we have some plugins here that I really like and we use all the time. The other one is Dynamic OOO. If you have the pro version of that, you pretty much do crazy dynamic stuff as far as like, dynamic visibility and dynamic content for Elementor. So, there's that. And what else do we have here? Yeah, so JetEngine and then Jet Form Builder, which is like another premium thing that comes with JetEngine, which is an amazing form builder, way better, light years better than Elementor forms, right? The form, built in there. People love gravity forms, formidable forms, like whatever, but just the other thing is the integration. It's like I feel like there's so many developers that like literally drive themselves insane with the amount of like weird, stupid things that they have to connect together. They'll be in these forums online and they're like asking, hey, how can I connect this to this or do this to this? And it's like, why are you using tools that don't connect to each other? Most of the time, I think it's because they're free tools. And unfortunately, some people need to kind of be like, pushed into this line of thinking. It's like if you're running a business, you have to invest in your business. I understand like being cost conscientious and everything like that, but we have a luxury where like this is a skill. This is one of my biggest things too with this channel. Is like I want to express to you guys that like you are talented individuals and you have a very valuable skill. Do not undercut yourself. Do not undersell yourself. I've done it so many times. It's not worth it. Like just charge more money for the stuff that you're doing. Again, people are going to get on me. Oh, you can't do it in this certain geography, this area, whatever. It's fine. I get that. But I'm saying why wouldn't you want to be the premium offering? And it's fine if you don't want to be, but don't complain about not being the premium offering if you're not trying to position yourself as the premium offering, is kind of what I'm saying. And if you don't want to build big websites or you don't want to scale like a brochure type of thing, everybody has different goals. But I'm just saying like those are the ways that I think about it, and my responses to like, just instinctually to some of these things that people say. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. But you can see the line up here. Like I said, I'll make a more in-depth video on all of this. I don't want to go too deep on this, but I do want to just kind of, I was just thinking about this. I've seen some stuff and I'm like, I have to get this out there because there's too many things that I see, and there's all these different options, and it's like, there's just too many options. Like there's literally just too many page builder options. And that's a good thing. It's nice to have options, but at the same time, it's difficult. It's difficult to deal with the decision-making process of, oh, do we use Elementor? Do we use Bricks? Do we use Breakdance? Do we use this? Do we use that? Like, do we use Gutenberg? Like, whatever it is. I'm just saying, like, think about the questions you should be asking is not what is everybody else like. The question you should be asking is, what do I want to build? Who do I want to market my business to? Who do I want my ideal client to be? Who do I want my target audience to be? What industries do I want to do? What kind of functionality do I want to put in there? And all of those questions are going to lead you to another set of like functionality, which will ultimately lead you to like the tools that you're going to need, because you're not going to build these tools. You're not going to build a membership platform plugin unless you're like a actual WordPress plugin developer. But you're not going to build that thing, so you are slightly at the mercy of whatever they've decided to integrate the easiest with, right? And if you want to build beautiful and functioning websites, the things need to work together. So it kind of becomes a no-brainer when you really dissect it. I'm not trying to sell Elementor or sell JetEngine. I'm just trying to give you the concepts to think about. Don't just go towards where everybody's like talking about necessarily. Think about what you actually want to do as a business. Really sit down and think about that. I don't think enough people do. Think about what kinds of websites you like building the most, or what type of business you want to build, and then get the tools for that. Build the stack around that. My thoughts. Let me know what you think. As always, I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you in the next one.